the face. Okay, so back on. I don't know if you saw the first part or not. But try it again. Looks like it's going. Anyways, so this is Hand, and let's take a look at the face. I could use a little bit more shape. It's a little flat, like the cheeks and stuff, so I might, let's make sure symmetry on sound, W, symmetry tool, symmetry, and select some of these vertices. Shift period, which is the greater than symbol to grow selection, B for soft select, something like that. I'm in the normal mode already. You can get there by double clicking on the move tool and switching to normal. I can pull on that end and kind of maybe push out the cheeks a little bit. I probably went a bit too far on that, but something like that. And I know the chin could be a little pointy, but I might not go quite so far as that. Just kind of a little less pointy because it's very kind of V-shaped, sort of wedge-shaped. So I'm sort of softening that a little bit. Maybe push out a little bit here as well. Alright, and maybe the nose, the nostrils are looking a little weird. Might shrink those down a little bit. I'm going to go back into the objects mode and shrink this down. I think I'm missing, there's this extra edge here which is making this a little bit difficult. Let me undo. Yeah. I think I might delete this edge for the moment, and I can always put it back. And then maybe just shrink this a little bit. Just using the square so it's moving in, kind of flat. Even that, that's not even, that's still on the large side, I would say, for the nostrils, for this kind of character. I think I could improve the nose shape a little bit. What's going on with that? Oh, there's some kind of, feels like there's some kind of extra edge here or something. Oh, they're real close together, those two. Maybe we could round this off a little bit by pulling those apart some, and I would kind of maybe move this whole edge up, shift right mouse click, slide edge. Maybe these, oh, that's not working so well. Just pulling this down a touch. Maybe try pushing this in some so it's not quite so. I think that's a little closer to what I remember the design being, to we have that in here? I don't see that coming in. Oh yeah, there doesn't seem to be an image plane there. Okay, anyway. Is it maybe this side? No? Alright, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that could still use some more shaping to it. Maybe, yeah, there's some, it feels like there's sort of a double edge here, but maybe too sharp of a crease. Oh, I don't like what that's doing. Oh, do I not have symmetry on anymore? What happened to that? No, it's on. Is it not working? Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why. Might have to re-mirror that then. If the symmetry is not working. Yeah, I don't like how sort of close those are together. Okay, that one's working. Anyway, I just think, you know, maybe a little more shape to that. Kind of not liking the transition to this down here. Might push that out a little bit too. And if it's looking a little bumpy, sometimes I like to use the under surfaces, sculpt geometry tool, options, smooth, and then under stroke, reflection, and shrink that down a bit. I'll just smooth that out a little bit. Anyway, I just think that could use a little more shaping. I would probably put a little bit more time into that. But mostly looking pretty good. I'm a little concerned about these kind of big eyelid, you know, the eyelash objects. Maybe try to get this more aligned to the contour of the eyelid, because right now it's a little off, and maybe a little bit more detail on that. You know, kind of round out the edges, I think. Might even use bevel on that. I guess I would first get it, you know, as close as possible to the shape of the eyelid. It's a little hard to see. Whoops, I didn't want that. Just go back to object. Maybe turn off the soft select here. That's kind of getting in my way now. Just kind of getting a little tighter to the shape here, and then let's see it from another view. Because it's pretty close there. And let's see what, how about those? Let's see what we get if we bevel this bottom edge. Whoops. Just getting that all the way around there. Okay, shift right mouse click, bevel edge, and maybe decrease the fraction a little bit, or increase it. I don't know. kind of don't like how sort of faceted that looks. I guess that's alright. Maybe you want to make these a little sharper. I'm still not loving the shape of the nose. I think that could use more attention. I think it's sort of a bit too flat on the bottom. I wonder if we can sort of roll this up a little bit. Maybe those three anyways. Is that a little better? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, the arms are looking pretty good. Normally the bend would be such that I'm just gonna, it's be normally like, I think this would be a little straighter, because I think what we're expecting is that it's bending so that it's kind of rotating around this y-axis, this green y-axis. So you would see the elbow sticking out a little bit here. And what's going on with it? Oh, it's just, yeah, I mean, if you're going to have something like this wristband, definitely, you know, give it a little bit more geometry. Control-Shift-X for the multi-cut tool, something like that. And then I'd probably take that and bevel that, Shift-Right mouse click, bevel edge, and maybe add another segment or two. Something like that. Looks a little better. I think the hand could, it's a bit kind of flat when seen from the side. Maybe you could, you have done some kind of shape here. You've kind of, it dips in there a little bit. Maybe you can get a little bit more. How did you get a little hole there? Did I do that? Hope not. It's on both sides. It's possible I did it by mistake. Just grab that, shift right mouse click, fill hole. Anyway, I was starting to say, like, maybe push out some of this a little bit. Hold down B, click and drag. And then normal, and sort of, maybe can pull this out some. Just get that a little fleshier. Something like that. I think that's a little better. Might have gone too far. I don't know. Let me just isolate this for a second. Whoops, not the whole thing. Yeah, and this gets a little flat here too. Maybe that could be a little more rounded. Maybe this could be a little bigger actually. And I might, you know, extend it into their extrude edge and pull that in, you know, so it intersects there. Maybe you need another edge loop here, and then you could scale that in a little bit so it fits in there. I think that'll work a little better. I mean, you can connect the arm and the hand too if you want. But if you have these wristbands, I guess you can get away with not doing it. Make sure that's not intersecting there. Let's get, you know, these pushed in a bit. So yeah, I would say, yeah, the slippers are okay. Maybe a little bit more detail on these, but maybe it's a little bit of a blocky kind of weird shape here. And the back is really flat. You know, I might round this out and probably would straighten this out a little bit. Probably turn off symmetry here because it's not really symmetrical. Oh, may just crashed Maya. Um, so hopefully we're back. Looks like we're back on. Sorry for the delay, just a little Maya crash there. Yeah, I'm not sure why there's this loop terminates here. It ends up with a, a five-sided face there. So I guess I would probably have that loop go all the way around. I might kind of, just to make some more room for it, I might slide this one down a bit. And then, oops. Why is that picking those, really? Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could terminate these by going from here to here. Something like that. It's a little better. Yeah, I was just talking about the shoes before. I just think these could use a little more detail, kind of straighten them out. Maybe cut them a little more fitted to the foot here. Maybe a little more detail, more edge loops. And maybe not so kind of slanted like that. That looks a little odd in the back. It's like the whole thing is kind of skewed. So I might straighten that out a bit. But yeah, overall this is looking pretty good. Okay, next we're gonna do how you. Let me get that one open. Just need a minute. doesn't look like you've archived the scene. So the idea is to, oh, that's interesting. That's a real, it's only 558 bytes, and that kind of tells me something's not right with this file, because that's really too small. So I think something went wrong with the submission somehow, so I would say you'll need to resubmit because it's not opening. And 558K, or 558 bytes, yeah, that's way too small. There's no way that that's a Maya file, and I guess oh, is it this file though? Okay, that's a little confusing. Is it this one? Oh, okay, sorry. Well, I guess there is one in there. I don't know. I was looking. I assumed, because normally what you're supposed to do is do file, archive scene, and that'll create a zip file, like if I did it now. You know, and it'll show you a readout down here, you know, where it puts the zip file. So, yeah, I think, oh Lord. It's kind of being funny. Oh, that's weird. Why can't I select anything? Let me just kind of reopen this because it's acting a bit odd. Oh, just because these are unreferenced. Sorry. I just didn't expect that. Alright. Yeah, I think in general the whole head has kind of this like wedge-shaped thing to it. Let's just isolate the head for a moment. So I would try to kind of flatten that out, like particularly the nose is particularly problematic. Symmetry on, symmetry, okay. Shift right mouse click, slide edge. Let me move that in a little bit, move these forward. Just going to use soft select so I get a little bit more with that. Just trying to get a little bit better shape to this. Anyway, I think it just generally needs a little bit more shaping to it. Maybe I could make this a little more kind of rounded by changing the move tool to normal direction and pushing that out some, just to kind of round it out. And if that's sort of too far, maybe then I'll take the whole thing back and push it back a bit, you know. That's maybe a bit exaggerated, but you get the idea. These could probably move up a bit. Oh yeah, there's an extra edge there. That's what's weird. Let's take this and let's do a mesh cleanup, and lamina non-manifold, edges with 0 length and faces with 0 geometry area. Hopefully that'll get rid of those extra edges. I don't think it did. I think they're still there. Oh no, maybe not. Okay. So that should help that kind of weird, kind of sharp edge there. And yeah, again, it's very kind of steeply wedge shaped, so I'm trying to kind of pull some of this forward to kind of flatten the front of the face a little bit more. Maybe that's helping a little bit. And yeah, I think the lips need a lot of work, so yeah, they're really kind of pinned back there. yeah, it's going to be tricky to fix at this point with this amount of detail. So, and maybe just turn off soft select for a second. Maybe if I kind of scale this out, it'll kind of help round the lips out a little bit, flesh them out a little bit. I might use the surfaces sculpt geometry tool options, smooth, and with the stroke on, reflection, and hold down B and make these a little smaller, and just kind of trying to kind of untangle that a little bit on the side there. Anyway, so yeah, I would keep going, just giving the face some better shape, and maybe make the eyeballs a bit bigger, but then really I think you've got a lot of work to kind of shape these eyelids to the eyeball. I mean, here it's penetrating up on top, so I think you need to just really take your time to get the eyelid shape to the eyeball. But I might start by making probably a larger eyeball, and whoops, wrong one, and maybe push it in a little bit. That's probably too far. But then I really think this needs to, whoops, get shaped to the eyeball. Yeah, that's not going to be easy. So you really have to take your time with this and try to kind of get a little better shape going here. And I think some of this could be pushed in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I can't spend ages on this, but I don't know. Yeah, I just, it's going to take some time, so I would suggest digging into that a little bit and reworking that shape. And hair's okay. This lip needs a lot of work. Anyway, I can't. That's decent structure there. That's alright. The hands are kind of funny pinched back here. I'll isolate this for a second. I probably would do, if I grab this edge, I'm going to turn off soft select. I'm just using B. Probably use circularize for that. And then I can just maybe scale that flatter again. And I think maybe for this one too. Is that not selecting the edge loop? That's not a good sign. Oh look, there's an extra edge there too, so let's try running mesh cleanup on that as well. Mesh cleanup, same options, cleanup. Okay, that seemed to help a bit. And let's grab this edge and circularize that as well. And then adjust, scale it down a bit. Maybe put an extra Control-Shift-X, maybe put another loop there. That's looking a little bit better. I think the whole thing could just, it really needs more kind of mass in general, I think. Whoops, let's turn off symmetry here and just grow this a bit. Whoops, that's too much. B for soft select, grow that a little bit. Put this on normal and then kind of push that out at some. Starting to look a little better. It's still, yeah, it feels a little flat in the back too. I might, at least along here, maybe we can push that out some as well. Anyway, yeah, I think you continue to clean that up some, and it's just real thin compared to the size of this armhole. I think you need to adjust either the shirt or the pants so that you don't have this big gap here, kind of wrap the shirt around the bottom of the pants or vice versa. So probably a little combination of the two. The shape of the butt could be better. I think there's maybe something wrong around these edges here. Yeah, look at that. So let's clean up this one as well. Mesh clean up. Did that? I don't know if that fixed that. Well, oof. What is going on with these? Not sure. Let's just try that one more time. I don't know. Clearly something's very wrong here, though. It looks like there's some inside surfaces, but why didn't I see that when I looked inside? Oh, now I see it. Okay. Okay, that might help. Let's do that as well. And then let's try the mesh cleanup again. We might have to do some merging vertices or something to fix that now. Yeah. You know what you can do? Control F9 to convert to vertices, and then you can merge them also. Edit mesh under components, merge options, and then basically that means anything that's pretty much just about on top of each other. And then, yeah, I can see now that that issue's gone away. But then you're going to need to shape this and the pants and kind of fit those two things together. Shoes look okay, but what's going on? Are these? Okay. There's some weird creases here. It just gets a little tight there, so I might, spread that out a little bit. So that's not so tight. So yeah, ankles looking a little small to me compared to the rest of the body. Alright, so yeah, a bunch of little things to fix, but it's coming along okay. Just getting the next one ready. Alright, next we're going to do Maddie. Okay, and here we go. Okay, this is looking really good. Let's take a look at the face. A lot of nice shapes going on here. Lips looking pretty good. Some good eyelid loops. Yeah, I like the hair too. I like the different kind of pieces of hair coming down. I think that's working pretty well. Nice. And the vest, yeah, looking pretty good. Some good creases there. Let's take a look at these hands. Not bad. Yeah, like some of the others, I kind of like fleshing out some of this a bit. B for soft select, I might grow that a bit. And then move tool and put this on normal and kind of push that out a little bit. Get a little bit more of the mass there. Push that in a bit. Maybe push out, these kind of just a bit. Just give that hand a little more contour. You could maybe do a little more on the back of it as well. It's a bit flat. But that's alright. Looks a little better to me. Yeah, legs looking pretty good. Maybe you could do a little bit more of an indication of the knee. Maybe push these in a little bit just for some contrast, and probably get out of this normal mode and go back to object mode. Don't need to be in soft select. Anyway, yeah, maybe a little more shape to the knee. Maybe you could do stuff like scale these in a little bit. Probably should have, I don't have symmetry on, so when you do that, make sure you have symmetry on. I like these wrap things around the feet. Actually, I think this is a pretty great model. I think you've done a great job. And I think it's going to work really well for the class. Just kind of looking at these edges and wondering, yeah, maybe I'm looking at just the spacing of the edges, and could be that maybe just one more edge loop here, just to have a little bit more even topology going on would be better. But yeah, this is great. I really don't have all that much to suggest or change on this. Alright, next one we're going to get is Chen Yu. Okay. Set the project, open the scene. Okay. Turn off that wireframe unshaded. Oh, this is really great. Wow. Really, wow, that's beautifully modeled head. Look at that. Wow. That's just great. Really good topology. Excellent shapes going on. I love the hair. Man, this is just excellent. So you've built that eyelid into the eye. Is that just like an extruded edge? A little worried about well, I guess it depends. You could maybe texture that with some transparency. If there's a little intersection going on here, just trying to figure out what's happening down there. Oh, so that's just coming off of that. Okay. I think I see. So maybe just try to adjust these so it's not interpenetrating here. Some of those points. But wow, just what a beautifully shaped head. Really nice. And just everything, the body is really good. Very clear shapes. You know. Kind of has a reminds me of sort of the Incredibles characters. Yeah, nicely done hand. Jeez. Just everything is just really just beautifully sculpted. I'm very impressed. Really can't find anything to improve on with this one. This is excellent work. It's just Yeah, maybe maybe a little kind of holding edge down here. I might. Oh, why is that looking? Some little bit of weird topology in the way this goes here, which concerns me. Let's just isolate the hair for a minute. Yeah, maybe a little bit denser than it needs to be on this inside, but because it doesn't matter that much. Just wondering if we could deal with this area a little bit better. What happens if I... Oh, wow, what a weird edge loop. It sort of crisscrosses. I wonder what happened if I got rid of those. Is it doing that because I have symmetry on? No. And then let's see if I... it's getting a little bit more normal. Yeah, I'm just starting to lose a lot of detail now, but... Oof. It's kind of weird, but... I mean, you had a better shape here. I was just trying to get... what if we kind of took that and rolled it up a little bit? It only goes to there. Slide edge, shift right mouse click, slide edge, yeah. Oh, except for, whoops. Except for this one little piece right here. I was just thinking then, you know, I guess we've got to clean that area up a little bit, but then you can, oh god, it still goes all the way around like that, huh? Anyway, then you'd have a little more to work with here for kind of rounding out the bottom a little bit. But it's not too bad as it is. Yeah, pretty good. Just a little bit of weird topology here that it's a little bit difficult to fix without having to redo a lot of the shape of the hair, but I don't know that it's going to matter that much anyway, because it's probably not going to move at all, so I don't think we'll notice. But yeah, really good work. Maybe even some of these out a little bit. Oh. Oops, what have I done? I think I did insert edge instead of slide edge. Just trying to spread these out a little bit, even them out a touch. But, oh, great model. Okay, and then the last one we have to look at is Cindy. So let's take a look at that. Okay, back to Maya. Set project. Okay. Some kind of issue with opening this file. Oh, sorry, that's all. Okay. Wow, yeah, this is looking pretty cool so far. Yeah, the boots look good. Yeah, like nice real kind of anatomy shape to the legs. Um, and I understand you're doing the kind of foldy fabric, but there's this is feeling a little kind of funny and misshapen here. And I get you're trying to do the shape of the fabric, but it ends up looking a little bit like the body is distorted here, as opposed to looking like fabric. So I might just tone that down a bit, you know. And maybe you can have a little of the irregularity, but it almost looks like it's the shape underneath that's pushing this rather than the shape of the kind of a folding, rippling fabric. So I might just tone down some of those irregularities. This is a nice looking piece here. Feeling like you're going to need some more, certainly this is much too long of a face to be all by itself. There's a little bit of issues of what's going on here. Just that like little interpenetration there I don't think we want. And I guess I'd really like to see more loops around this armhole here. Oh wow, there's something really... There's some really tight edges here that are pretty much right on top of each other, and that's not looking so great. I think they're a bit too close. Just trying to spread that out a little bit. Don't like that star there that much. And then there's, yeah, some issues up here. Wonder if I can maybe take some of this off and then, oops, see if we can build it back up again, because there's just some topology in here that I'm not liking. So just pulling this out, scaling this in. And then pushing this back in like that. I think that's looking a little cleaner now. And then I can, add some of those holding edges where we need them. Maybe another one here. And that's looking a lot more clean to me. And then, yeah, maybe do something similar on this. So this is a much more complicated shape here. But yeah, I still think you're going to need more topology going on here, because you've just got these really big long faces, and generally when you're looking at topology, what you want to see is, roughly most of the faces being about as big as each other. I mean, there's going to be a lot of exceptions, but anytime you see a face that's like much bigger or much smaller than the rest, like about how long these are, that's a bit of a warning sign. And then, yeah, maybe we can just kind of hook this to this, and then we're going to end up with some triangles. And then you can take those new points and just shape this a little bit, so they're not just a flat line there. Kind of rounding that out a little bit, and maybe I can spread this out a bit. Oh, that's not working well. I feel like that should be not a triangle. Maybe you can get another one to go down through here. I wonder, do we need this one? Oh, I guess that gives us a five-sided thing there. Yeah, it's just a very complicated shape. Um, um, anyway, so yeah, I would say keep going with that. Face is looking really cool. Yeah, it's just some really good shapes here. I think maybe getting kind of really spending some time in the eyelid. You might want to work on the eyelid shape so it's kind of a little bit more wrapping around the eye and fitting to the eye better. And just hide this for a second. Yeah, because right now it just sort of pushes in there, and I think you really want this to go up and over. So yeah, there's not a lot of super easy kind of shortcuts to making that happen. It's just really a lot of pulling points. um, just trying to get it more, more of an eyelid going. I should have symmetry on and I don't, so obviously you'll need to do this with symmetry on or remirror it afterwards. It's just kind of being lazy. Anyways, I don't think there's any super shortcut to this. I guess it's less important for symmetry because of the eye patch, but oh, and you don't even have an eyeball there. But I think, yeah, let's just duplicate this. I don't know. I mean, I just got a small start to it, but maybe you're starting to see where you can have a bit more of an eyelid going there. Maybe push that in some and go up more. Anyway, like I said, it's going to take some time to kind of shape that to that. Just sort of. I'm not really happy with what's happening here, but I think you get the idea that you want kind of an eyelid that's more wrapping around the eyeball. But other than that, it's actually a really great head. I think maybe you can spend a little more time. It doesn't look like much. This looks like kind of a flat sort of wedge, so I think you can work on pulling some of these edges forward, and just getting a little more shape to that. Maybe you could use another little bit of detail. Oh geez, that doesn't. I thought maybe, yeah, I don't know why it's going up and over the lip there. It's not such a great thing. So I might just start something, I don't know. Where is that? I'm just trying to figure out how to get a little more detail through here. But I don't know, maybe you'll just, without re-engineering the whole thing. Yeah, end up with some triangles and stuff. There already are maybe some triangles, I'm not sure. But now I can kind of round this out a little bit more in the bottom there and maybe slide some of these down a bit. Oh, I don't like that. What's going on here? Is there some extra? No, I don't know why that didn't slide down the way I expected it to. It's acting a little odd. Yeah, I could maybe just, you know, do this a little more manually. Anyway, kind of keep working on that, kind of down and back a bit. Sort of round out that chin some. Maybe getting a little more mass here. Is that better? Maybe a little bit. Cool, but really good head, good body, very complex shapes going on. Yeah, I think you've done a very nice job on this, so good work. So I guess that's all I have so far in this assignment. Yeah, a lot of really good models in here, so good work, everybody. I'm seeing I got a comment here. Digit lover. Which one is yours? I don't know if that person who commented is still on. I didn't see the comment while I was working, so unfortunately, it doesn't say when that one was. Alright, yeah, I mean, I can answer questions in the normal discussion forum. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream. Oh, wait, sorry, it's Maddie. Okay. So let's go back to Maddie's. Just need a minute. Okay, yeah, so just checking out the hair. I mean, one thing you can do, if I might just delete the history, Alt-Shift-D, and then one thing you can do if you want to check topology, a good trick is, I think it's under selection constraints, use constraints, it's called. And I'll do it on the next selection, and oh, sorry, I need to be in face mode. There we go. And then we can, for example, turn off soft select. See, like, if there's any insided faces here. And nope, because if I pick quads, yeah, that picks all of them. So it's all quads. So that's a nice way to just check a surface. You could see if I had, like, just as a counter example, if I had a cube here. So I'm just gonna take the multi-cut tool and, you know, just do a weird. Why did that just do that one side? Oh, maybe because I'm not in object mode. Okay. No, why does it keep going? Huh. Can't I use multi-cut tool in object mode? Oh, I don't know. Alright, anyways, this will serve the purpose anyways. So if I go into face here and I say hand-sided now, see it's picking these faces because they're more than 4 sides. So that's the point of that. Anyway, yeah, I don't really see any issues with the hair. Maybe, you know, you could even out some of this topology a little bit. I mean, I'm losing a little bit of the shape when I do that, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, well, I'll leave it there. For those who tuned in, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this recording works.